HarperCollins presents Last Dance in Salzburg. Miss Ashford Investigates Book 4 by Vivian Conroy. Read by Jessica Whittaker. Chapter 1. Paris, November 1930. Miss Atalanta Ashford halted on the grand staircase of her home on the Rue de Conclair. The sharp morning sunlight played across the stained glass above her front door, creating a kaleidoscope of changing colours. Staring at that bright, burning feast of light, she recalled with a sharp intake of breath how differently her mornings had been only a few months ago, when she had still been a teacher at a renowned boarding school for elite girls in Switzerland. She had lived in a modest room with plain wooden furniture, and had little luxury, since all of her salary was sent to England to pay for her late father's substantial debts. She had lived by the clock, dictated by a schedule of lessons she had to give, meals in between, lectures provided by outside tutors, or day trips to museums and cultural institutions in the region. Nothing had been truly hers. Not her bed or her desk, not the money she made, and not even her time. It hadn't felt restrictive, because the gorgeous views of the snow-capped Eiger Munk and Jungfrau mountains had been outside her bedroom window, and she only needed to open the doors to her small balcony to breathe in the crisp air and listen to the bells on the grazing cows. She could see all the way down the valley where the river led to small villages full of picturesque houses, and a church whose tower seemed to touch the waterfall that rushed down from on high. Everything had been breathtaking, and she had often felt privileged rather than captive. But that had only been because she hadn't known what freedom was. She'd always been taking care of others without thought for herself. Now that she had been promoted in the world by her grandfather's sudden death and the large inheritance he had left her, everything had changed. She had houses, cars, stocks, and most of all, endless time on her hands to enjoy it all. She could travel and see all the places she had previously only dreamt of. She could visit the locations pictured on each and every postcard and magazine clipping she had ever saved in her box of dreams. Destinations she wanted to go to in the future. A future that had seemed so far away. Now it had become reality. She ran a loving hand over the staircase's railing as she walked further down. From the dining room, the inviting scent of breakfast, toast, bacon, eggs, and coffee, wafted up to her. But her feet moved steadily for what had become the first stop on her morning routine, her conservatory. As soon as she had seen this house, the first day she had come to Paris as the heiress she had become, she had known she wanted a conservatory here with tropical plants, with gorgeous orchids, such as her mother had grown when Atalanta was but a little girl. Being around those plants again would bring back dear memories of a time she had been perfectly happy. Pushing open the heavy door, she inhaled the scent of earth and water deep into her lungs. There was something special about these greenhouses. They always had an air of the rainforest about them, of the heat of faraway places where the jaguar stalked the jungle, and beautiful flowers of bright yellow and orange could also hide poison. It was a foreign world, exciting and dangerous, into which she entered from the safety of her Parisian existence. Or was safety the wrong word? A deceptive term she applied to her new life that was, in reality, far from normal or secure. After all, she had followed in her grandfather's footsteps, taking over his secret life's mission of dealing with the difficulties of the elite, solving cases discreetly, often undercover. It had taken her to southern France, the Greek island of Santorini, the lush vineyards under the Tuscan sun. It was a life of travel to the most inviting places, but like those tropical flowers that hid venom in their hearts, the place's beauty had been a cover for intrigue, deceit, and death. Atalanta shivered a moment as she recalled the faces of the dead bodies she had encountered on her trips, and felt the coldness of the skin under her fingertips when she had checked for a pulse.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?